these two have. Richard and Chris have matching sweaters. They purposely bought them. Should we stand back here together, Thomas? What would you like to do? Okay. All right, you guys good? Thomas and I will sit on the tall boys. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna stand because I'm short. Okay, great. Welcome, guys. How's your con been so far?
Yeah, it's going great. It's turning up, guys.
Woo! Yeah, I'm talking about you. Okay, yeah. Okay, great. Okay, so I'm going to ask a question that I actually asked the ladies of Conageddon. I'm very curious if there's microphones we can pass around your answer, and these are actually from Instagram. We're going to start with, which of you, and we know the answer for Zach, which of you did your own stunts on the 100? Zach?
I did the majority of them. There was one time that they doubled me on the car. Yeah, the jump, they wouldn't let me jump from the top of the rover onto the flatbed. They would let me fight on the flatbed, and they would let me get onto the roof of the rover, but they wouldn't let me make the jump. But I really wanted to. But I mean, other than that, yeah. They made me like, they just took like a special of me jumping. But yeah, other than that, that was good.
Did you any of your own stunts?
I did most of my stunts up until about season 6, I think. I think that's when I stopped.
Because you're neat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's enough, guys.
But that was you hanging upside down there in Mount Weather.
Yes.
That's
No. Yeah, I mean, we mainly do most of our stunts and then you'll have your double step in when it's on the back of me. Like, I mean, I would much rather have Matt, my stuntman, be throwing punches at like Eliza or Marie, because they know what they're doing. Whereas and I'd rather me be doing it against Marie's double because you rehearse it with those people, and so when it's on the back of them, then it's a lot safer.
Great.
And it's all right if I hit a stunty in the face.
Right. Yes.
I don't feel that way.
You know what? There was one. Zach goes really hard, and there was one where I think I was supposed to just throw a punch at you or something, and you block it like this. And I was like, you came at that so fast and really hard. And I was like, oh, it just hit you. It's like, I'm not going to hit you. And he was like, you're full. Who is this guy?
Richard, did you do your own stunts?
Yeah, we bought the sweaters 10 years ago. Same answers as everyone else. I would do as much as I possibly was allowed to. There's some things that you weren't. I don't think physically most of my stuff was getting beaten up. I'm very good at getting beaten up. I'll take those licks. I'm not as good at the fighting as these guys are.
But one of my favorite fight sequences was you and I in the elevator.
Oh God, all the dudes. Yeah, that was pretty fun.
I always kind of know how fast you can get off the ground. You remember that about him?
Very fast, very fast.
Yeah.
This is so nice.
You know that about yourself.
I had a feeling that I did. It's so nice to hear it.
Were we doing a lot of fighting when you were around, Tom? Did you do much fighting?
I suspect not as much as later on, but I dislocated my shoulder with you.
Oh, really? I did that to you?
It was in a scene that we were in together.
Dislocated his shoulder.
No, my shoulder. No, I've got strong shoulders. That's the thing.
I can't remember what it was, but it was a scene where there was like a lot of stuff going on, shooting, a whole bunch of people, big sequence.
Yeah, right.
Involved, and
I think it was at the end, and we had to dive into that thing in the back.
diving thing, and I landed on my shoulder, and we kept shooting or whatever. But then the next few days, I realized my whole chest was green.
Oh shit! I remember I had to carry you, and you were surprisingly solid. Dense.
Speaking of carrying other actors. Season 5, my last episode, Monty has to carry Murphy on his back. And I was like, I'm not fucking doing that. So they hired a Richard body, a skinnier Richard that I carried. So you see me like running over that. That's not Richard. Because I was like, I'm not carrying Richard for miles.
Is it like a small child?
Yeah, I read the script and instantly wrote Jason. I was like, body double.
Smaller dude than Ricky.
I'm not that big.
To me, you're huge.
I was talking about how dense your muscles were. Yeah.
You didn't get a small time.
Oh no, carrying Ricky was that was ridiculous. Carrying Ricky Whittle.
You had to carry Ricky Whittle?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That was a lot.
That's a lot of muscle.
Everyone's just carrying each other. Yeah, I had to carry Ricky like that.
Yeah, like you want to go on the shoulder. This is a tough spot.
Yeah, and he did not help me at all. I remember at least when you were there, you were partially conscious, and I said, "Can you put your arm around me and kiss me?" And you go, yeah.
Wow, good answers. Before we open up the audience question, I'm going to ask you the same thing we asked the ladies, which is, knowing the ins and outs of your characters, what would be your vision for the ending? If you wrote the show, would you have done something different? We'll start with Bob. Sorry.
No, the way that I reconciled with Bellamy was that when he was in the Cave of Enlightenment and he saw his mother, and it's a non-verbal interaction, but I felt like that was him coming full circle, his mother saying to him, you can let go of all the guilt and you can move through this, and him finding some sort of clarity of what his purpose was. From that point on, I felt like that was the journey, and that's what I did for him anyway. I know from an audience point of view and from the rest of the hundreds point of view, it was like, he's brainwashed, but I was like, the way that I see it is that he's found his purpose as to how to help others move through this grief and guilt and everything that they've gone through, because I think he did find his own peace. And when performing in that moment with Monique, I felt that for Bellamy, and in a way I felt that for myself as well, because I knew that I was leaving the show. So, if anything, it would have been nice for him to complete that journey of seeing his friends come to a place where they could move forward and let go of all the guilt and grief and everything like that. So that's the only part of it that I would have changed, is that he could have continued on that journey with them, because they obviously get to that place and go, oh, Bellamy wasn't brainwashed. Oops, we killed him. No, you didn't change. So yeah, that's kind of the only thing that would have changed.
If Bellamy was, in the end and lived with the others and on the island, and you were the last of humanity, what would you have done? What do you think Bellamy would have done?
I don't know, but I mean, the bigger question is, where's his body? We went back to that room and it wasn't there, so.
He's alive. Zach, would you change anything about your character's ending?
Well, I feel like if, say, Rowan had somehow figured out a way through that and through the conclave, I think he could have solved some problems. But, I don't think the world has to end. You know what I mean? I think we can all do this without ending the world.
Nice.
My opinion.
Thomas?
The Cave of Enlightenment.
Sweet Summer Child has not watched the show. You should ask Bob about that during break.
The Cave of Enlightenment.
So Finn would have enjoyed that as well? You would.
It's got a nice name then.
Probably would have massacred that whole village. It's just a personal thought. I actually, the ending with Maury dying and me putting her into my brain was my idea. So I did get mine. Yeah.
Amori dies.
So no, it's no. So then we go inside your mental brain, your mind space, and so I could see her one last time and give up my life so we would both die, and I get to see her one last time for 30 minutes. And it's a love story, yeah. And I was That's about all the brain can take. But I think it's good. Yeah. So that was my idea earlier on when we were shooting in season 7, and Amori got sick from the radiation, and I was like, what would Murphy do if she died?
She got sick from radiation.
Earlier in the season, yeah. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I emailed Jason and I was like, what about like this? And he was like, that's actually not bad. And we did it. If I were to change it, it would be that we don't get like saved by the thing.
Alien?
Yeah, we should just die and that would make the story complete. I think we should just remain dead. I think that would work. Yeah.
Okay, Chris?
What is the question?
Knowing what you know about Monty, if you were writing the ending for him, what would it be?
No, I think it was perfect. All I did was, thanks. I wrote Jason at the start of season 5 and said, I think my time on the show is coming to a close. He said, okay, just get us to the end and we'll try to give you a noble death. And I think they did that really well.
That's nice. Excellent. Well, if any of y'all have questions, and I know you do, for the gentleman up here, there's a microphone in the middle, and we can line up and get through as many questions as we can until 3 o'clock. So, and make sure they're in the form of a question, not a period. That would be great. Punctuation, this is a question, not a statement. Okay, statements are allowed for Richard. Hi. All right, guys.
All right, mainly for Zach, or if anyone knows, do you know the direction they might have gone with your character if he didn't die?
Yeah, I think there was actually like a world in which that may have happened, where me and Bob might have been on the spaceship there or something. Yeah, there was talk of it, and I was like, what are we doing on that spaceship? Yeah, they wanted. I think they wanted to explore the romance. Yeah. And then I wanted to go play a Russian. Basically.
Yep.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know. I'm happy with it all. I love it all. So I mean, honestly, like I have no problem with any of it. To be honest, like I felt like I came on that show just thinking I was going to do a couple episodes, having fun with some friends, and then I got to do even more, and now here I am, and wow, what a trip. Oh.
Hi, so kind of a random question, but it's actually for Chris and Richard. Are you wearing the same sweater, and was it planned?
Yeah.
I heard them planning this last night.
Richard, like 10 years ago, came down to LA and was like, take me shopping. So we drove to all these stores that Richard wanted to go to. And because he's like Richard's always been very fashionable, and like I admire his clothing selections. I wear Uniqlo, I wear the same thing every day. So he was like, we gotta get this nice sweater.
Look at this sweater, and we both tried it on, and Chris was like, we can't both get it, and I said, we absolutely can. And we will.
And how often have you worn it?
I wear it like once a week, and Chris has worn it, this is his third time, he told me.
Third time wearing a sweater.
Yeah. No, I think I like the break. I like the breaking down. Yeah, and then 3 days ago, Chris emailed me. Yeah, you don't text with Chris, you just email. And he said, remember the sweater? I said, of course I remember the sweater. And he said, first day, Conageddon, wear it. And I said, all right.
Do you, 1 out of 10, do you like the sweater? Do you not like the sweater?
I personally love the sweater because I also love that story you mentioned as well.
You have a very nice sweater as well.
Also cool, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm glad that it was about the sweater.
I have a question for Richard, actually.
Oh.
You're my favorite, by the way. I love everybody else so much.
But
What was
understand
it?
the pecking order.
What was it like to be Murphy? Like, you just never died, like, I didn't want you to, but like,
Yeah. It Sorry, continue.
No, it's okay. I was just like, I didn't want you to die, but how?
How could I not?
Like, you were just...
I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop on that one, and it never did.
I mean, they killed off Bob and like all that stuff, and like you were just.
It's a secret that I don't know the answer to. I'm happy that I got to stick around as long as I did, and even when my idea was for me to like sacrifice myself to get 30 more minutes, I still got brought back. It's like as my body's breaking down, I'm just like, I get all glowy. And I'm like, never mind, we're good. Made it out again. Of the 10 people that are left on the planet and left in the universe, I will be the last one of them to die. I don't know how, but that's what will happen.
Am I allowed to ask one more question really quick?
Quickly.
Bob, I want to know what it was like, how did you know you were in love with Eliza?
Episode 1, done.
Yeah, I don't know. You just do, I guess.
I think we all saw like the looks you gave her in like the first couple episodes, and I think we all like knew it was gonna happen.
Well, I guess then you guys know more than me. I didn't know. Everyone knew except for me. That seems to be the ongoing story that I hear as well. Yeah.
Did you know Bob, the guy who married Bob and Eliza, also married me and my wife?
Yeah.
Randomly.
Like in Hawaii?
Yeah, my wife's from Hawaii, and so we found this guy online, like on a Google search. And we wrote it, and he was like, oh, I married your castmates.
Yeah. Did he do the whole bit about the fist?
Excuse me? Okay, this is a family show. Please elaborate.
I don't think it was a fist, I think it was something else. Something about like a knot. Something like a knuckle.
Thank you.
I don't know.
That answered the question.
Great question.
Afternoon, guys.
Okay.
During the filming, learning about your character in the cast, has there been any experiences that you came across that you were able to kind of use in real life? Like, without the 100, would that experience in real life have been harder?
I recall one night where I was locked out of my house in Vancouver. Tom was also there. Eliza was also locked out of her house. And we're all like, what are we gonna do? Then Eliza, very Clark-esque, like, just decided to smash her window. And I said, yeah, let's do that. Very Bellamy-esque, let Clark do the thing and then say, yeah. Do you remember that? Yeah. Yeah.
Was that after you guys found out you were invited to the sweater party? Or?
Oh, no. No, we were never invited to that.
Cool.
I actually think
The rover was stick, so I had to learn how to drive stick.
Oh, yeah, you did. Did you learn how to drive stick?
Yeah, and the fucking rover, like, it's the worst car.
So you drove it? You drove that car?
Yeah. I drive stick now.
I thought I was the only one. God.
I remember when I got
Everything that I have is being taken away from me.
Next question.
Hi, so I have a little thing to give you guys after my question, but my question is if you had to choose 3 characters to protect you while the others try to kill you, who would you choose?
Oh. Not perfect.
3 characters to protect you. Protect you.
If all the other characters were trying to kill you.
I mean, I feel like one would be smart to choose an Octavia in that scenario. It would be kind of smart to choose like a Bellamy in that scenario, maybe. And also, probably smart to choose a Murphy in that
No,
scenario. No,
it'd be really, really not.
because you could like try to absorb some of the survival instinct. Like, you know, like,
It never worked out too well for
like-
everyone around
No,
me.
like Rowan Bellamy and Octavia would be like, we'll fight them. And he'd be like, but we could also just run around there and we'd be okay. You know, and we'd be like, so yeah, maybe you're right. We could go over there. And then we wouldn't even have to fight.
Those are valid points. I would say Indra for sure.
I think you're all thinking too small fry. You gotta be like Cadogan, Allie, Lexa. And then you're fine. Cadogan is the only one that survived everything and then got out of there. He like lived way longer than all of us. He could take you, he'd be like, you know what, come to my special portal. See you later. Here's my special healing power. Forget this planet. You know? Or the aliens at the end.
But this is more of like a physical combat thing.
You're talking like
right?
hand to hand.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Indra. I'm gonna go. I'll take Bellman.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
Bellamy uses
I'll go
guns and
Rogue.
stuff. What about like Dante? He's got like nuclear weapons, man.
Those are more offensive than defensive.
Yeah.
Not gonna help.
That's,
I mean,
That's not
they,
gonna help you stay alive. That's just gonna help kill everyone.
yeah, but that, it's like, you know, a good attack, it's a good defense.
Yeah, but everyone's dead.
Oh yeah, sorry, and then Monty, obviously.
No love for Clark? Come on, she saved your asses every time.
Got it.
Y'all are guilty.
If there's a lever.
she killed him. I think you're misremembering.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you for the question.
Hello, my name is Rowan, and I thought you all would want to make a joke about that before I ask my question. So first, I just want to say thank you, Bob, for being such an amazing actor that you made me cry more than Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. during your death scene. And my question is, what was all of you's favorite fellow actor to work with? It can be anyone, they don't just have to be here. On the show.
On the show, right, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, mine are Eliza and Richard and Mike Beach.
Oh God, yeah, fair. Yeah, I mean, you always working with you is always a fucking pleasure because I think we work in a very similar way of being a little combative, but fun. I wish like we actually had a little together season 2. Yeah, that was fun. We didn't really.
We just like one. We were escaping Polis for like 30 seconds. Like that was about it. I think mostly.
I'm sure it was fun. I love working with you. That was good. And Isaiah Washington, I loved going toe to toe with that dude. I really, really did.
Good question, thank you.
Yeah, I love lifting Richard. No, and Mike Beach, oh my God. Yeah, Isaiah was, despite his oddities, really great on set. Or not even good on set. Good to act with.
Thank you.
Thank you. Real quick, Richard, if you could have kissed anyone who you didn't kiss on the cast, which character should Murphy have kissed that he didn't kiss? The answer is Raven.
I'm sure I think always Murphy had a respect, a healthy respect.
You know, The 100 was the only show I've ever been on where I don't think I kissed anyone. I don't think so.
Who would you want to kiss?
Bob.
Who said Murphy over there? Oh, yeah. Respect.
Next question.
Two small questions. The first one is for Zach, and by extension, DJ Mike Party, if he's anywhere around here.
DJ Mike Party.
But based on how last year went, how many times estimated do you think we'll hear shipping up to Boston at tonight's party?
I would estimate at least 14 times.
And the follow-up question is for everybody but the sweater boys over there. Because we
Sweater Boys. That's the name of your gang, dude. Sweater Crew. Sweater Boys.
Have the three of you seen the horror masterpiece known as Grave Encounters 2, starring Richard Hammond? I've been
Why
talking about
can't
that
Chris
movie all
ask that
day.
question?
I think we
Maybe
already
he's-
talked about it this morning.
Maybe he's seen Drinking Encounters.
I have not seen it, but I want to see it. I want to. No, I've not seen it. It's just I don't even know what it is.
It was the first #1 I ever had. I was like 19. It's a real like angry, broody, young man. Found footage too. There was a first. I was not in the first.
I've done some sequels.
Many people say that the first one's better than the second.
Yeah, but the second has Richard Harmon in it.
But I would.
Can I see a show of hands who may have seen Christmas Catastrophe?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Great time.
Yes. I want to see all by the end of the weekend. I want to see all the hands.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. I just had one question about stunts because we brought that up earlier. I wanted to know what was all of your favorite stunts you got to do while you were on 700?
Favorite stunts. I mean, I enjoy all of them. Like I like it when there's stunt acting mixed in with like an emotional scene. So, you know, when there's emotional stakes and stunts at the same time. So, yeah, and this show had a lot of those. I guess one that comes to mind was like the fight sequence with Marie and the sword fight. Yeah, I just like when they're fused together and the two work in tandem. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I had a lot of stunt stuff that is really cool, but one thing that sticks out that I probably didn't talk about ever was on like my first day when I'm working with Eliza. You know, she kind of like gets the jump on me and gets my head under the water, and we were shooting up in the GVRD, which is like this beautiful, and we're on this stream that like we have to be very careful because it's like the drinking water for Vancouver that is going down. And she puts my head in it, and I like open my eyes, and there's just salmon. And I'm just like under there and just looking at all these salmon. It got blurry, and I started drinking the water. And that is just a fond memory. Because I was like, I don't think I'd ever been so, like, it was so pristine right there. I really loved it. So. Yeah, I wanted to be a salmon in that moment. Beautiful.
The hanging day was fun. That was fun. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, just people asking what? The hangings, there's like episode 104, right? That's not a stunt. I didn't do many stunts. I like tried to stop Octavia from killing my mom. Oh yeah. That's not a stunt though. That's pulling a.
What about with the axe? You like snatch?
Yeah, I took a rubber axe really hard to a set of locks. It took a lot of days to get that one right, guys. A lot of training. Me and Zach went up to the farm.
Swing like this. 2 hands.
2 hands, yeah, that really helped me.
Thank
I
you.
don't know. Sorry.
Hey guys, so I always loved the rover. That was one of my favorite parts of the show, and I know you touched on this briefly, but what was it like driving and using the rover on set, and where is it now? What happened to it after the show? Does it still exist?
I think Jason must have that thing in his garage in like LA probably. Maybe Marshall has it on like the ranch or something.
But driving it is a nightmare. And driving it with like 8 casts in the back with no seatbelts is even worse. And then driving it towards a cliff with 8 casts in the back and hitting a mark without going over the edge is terrifying. It's a horrible car to drive. And is, you know when we were doing that sequence with the car chase and all that stuff, and even just driving along the beach, like the front diff came out because it's so much, like it's like 2 tons extra metal on top of a Jeep.
Right.
The car's not supposed to be able to handle that kind of weight. So it looks cool, but it handles like crap. And it was falling apart quite often.
It's also really hard to get in and out.
Yeah, and reversing, there's no, you know, it's a tough car to drive, and it's a tough one to drive and act in. And yeah, I just hated it. I hated every bloody minute of it. And
Never meet your heroes.
yeah, the Rover is really temperamental.
Well, that's why I love Jeeps, but I never owned one.
Yeah, there you go. What about you, Chris? Did you like it?
No. No, because when you don't drive stick, like alone, you're just trying to get it, but then like the shot was like at night, in the fog, and there was a camera attached to a truck in front of it that I had to stay like 10 feet away from perfectly while doing lines, and I just didn't want to hit
I
the camera.
always freak out, like Rover or not, but any kind of driving scene where you got to be like do precision driving and hit a mark and get out and do your stuff. I'm always so stressed, and even just things like taking off, because you're like, oh, everyone's gonna laugh at me if I don't do a good job.
Oh yeah, I literally was just working on a different show where they were doing the same shit with like an old muscle car, and like the whole crew is right there, and like a Technocrane, and they're having me like pull up and I'm just like, I've never driven this particular vehicle. It's like geared up for racing, and it wants to go 100 miles an hour, and I'm just like, can I have 5 minutes with this before I have to drive directly at 100 people and stop like?
It's like if you're doing a parallel park, right? If you're doing a parallel park and like one person stops to go, oh, let's see if they get that in there. It's like doing that, but with like, you know, 200 people on the crew being like, don't fuck it up. Yeah, so I hate driving scenes. I hate precision parking. But yeah, anyway,
Thank you.
that's my thing.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
I was wondering about the zero-G scenes you guys were in, how it was to film those and how they were done. I know everyone but Rowan has been in a ship.
I hated that. You know what?
Right.
Did you do any zero-G stuff?
I don't think I did that. You did. What are these scenes?
Oh yeah, you were the spacewalker.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were the number one.
Spacewalker.
It's like very low tech. And the way that we did the piece with me was like a harness here. And they wanted me to like drop into the frame. Do you remember this frame?
I wasn't in the same.
But it was like in the pilot.
Yeah, I remember it.
It's like someone's here and then he drops in on some like, but it's like required a lot of strength to extend.
Yeah.
Because you go like this. Try to act cool. So that's what that was like.
Yeah. Like, I remember I was doing the zero-G stuff in that. I was doing the zero-G stuff in the hazmat suit in that little space pod. Remember? Then we were all flying away. And that, yeah, it's quite, like, because you're usually pinned onto, like, you know, one spot here, and there's like 2 pivot points, but you can only really spin one way. But you have to kind of make it look like you're fluidly moving around, but like you're kind of forcing this wire to let you move. And so you got to be like quite stiff through your core, and yet be pretending like you're totally chill. I think Lindsay was really good at it. But yeah, because she did the whole Becca's lab thing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi. So after hearing Lola's story about Richard cutting off himself down to his head, that seemed like a very like Murphy thing to do. So I wanted to know like how are you similar to your characters and like what's like different with you and your characters?
Yeah, that is pretty Murphy thing to do. And to be fair, I didn't cut off any of her stuffed animals' heads. I cut off the head of the new stuffed animal that I had purchased and made her think that I had cut off. The rest of the... I don't know.
11.
No, it was like the final season. Or like the second.
No, it wasn't.
Looking back on it, probably could have been some better movies. Yeah, all she did was put like
Yeah.
saran wrap over my toilet bowls when I peed.
It floated. It was like magic.
Oh yeah, it was honestly actually
a magic trick.
It was actually pretty cool. Yeah, I thought it was Jess because it was like 3 in the morning. But she had done it earlier before she had left.
How did you know it was your trailer?
There's a door on it.
No, but she'd done it the day before. She must have talked to Norm. She must have got transport involved.
No, she was in earlier that day.
Ah.
I was on set, and then when she was leaving, she did it because she knew that I wasn't in. I guess that's a way that I'm kind of similar to Murphy. We have a similar sense of humor because the humor that I brought to Murphy was just my own. So I think the humor is probably the most. He's a lot more relentless in what he wants than I am. I think I'm a little more chill. But yeah.
I'd hope so.
I wish that prank war kept going. I had so many stored up. I was gonna marry her mom. Yeah, and I cleared it with her too. Yeah, essentially. We're still waiting on a day. And I was gonna like control all of her finances. I'm like, until you're 18, and I was like, I'll financially ruin you.
It's a real,
it's
a real Free Britney situation.
Yeah. Essentially. Yeah. Anyway, I'm well.
Hello. Hi. How do you feel about your character's like growth throughout the show? Whether redemption arc or whatever we're calling Thomas's plot development?
Corruption.
I've just talked ad nauseum about how much I love the opportunity to. A lot of the times the redemption arc is done very quickly, and I was happy to take all the way up until the last episode, really, to kind of finish it.
I feel like, I touched on that earlier, and you know, creating that own arc for me, emotionally for Bellamy was kind of that thing, even though it may have read differently on screen.
How old do you think he was when he died?
Like 136.
No, like after, like, if you take out the frozen part.
How old was Bellamy? Well, I think he was like 21 when we started, so he might have been like 32.
Okay, so I think Monty's like the only one who gets to a ripe old age, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, happy.
Oh yeah. I like the Monty.
You know, there's an interesting thing about working on television versus working on films, which is that in TV, a lot of times, or in our case, we didn't know, or maybe it changed after when I worked on the show, we didn't know what was going to happen. The writers were writing all the time. So, as an actor, you don't really have the opportunity to really develop and plan your whole arc. It's a sort of reverse engineering whereby you have to think of what's happened and think of how to play the next thing and make it work. So it's different kind of thing.
Very well. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think Rowan, you know, it's like when you meet Rowan, he's like a bounty hunter trying to like rob, you know, like take her and you know, take her somewhere. So I think he got to do a lot of stuff, and I guess what's similar, like there's a lot of similarities. There's also a lot of differences. Like, you know, like probably the biggest one is like I don't believe in royalty, and you know, he was royal. I guess I don't know. So that's probably the biggest one.
Thank you.
All right. If each of you, as real people, had to go to any character on the show for advice, whom would you go to?
Monty.
Yeah, I'd actually agree.
Not Chris, no. I probably
Why not, Bob?
Yeah, go to Bob.
Well, why not, Bob? Who would you go to out of this cast? Okay, besides what I'm wearing, besides this stupid fashion choice that forced me by Richard, who else would you go to in the cast for life advice, for true blue life advice?
No, come on. Let's be honest. Mike Beach is going to give us the best life advice. He's like, you know, an older man who's been through a lot of things and is an amazing dude. Like, I would probably go to him, to be honest. Be like, hey, Mike, I'm having this problem with my kids. Like, what do I need to do? You know? Actually, I've done that before.
Which character would you go to?
Oh, I just started thinking about the real people, and I was like,
That's what I'm
all those times that I called Isaiah, and I was like, what should I do, man? How do I move forward with my career? What about the political landscape these days? It's also confusing. But character-wise, it would be Monty for sure.
Thanks.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello. This is for all the this is for all of them. Do you like acting in a movie or a TV show better?
Well, I think he kind of put his finger on that just a little while ago when he said that TV's different because you don't know the totality of the story yet, whereas when you do a film, you know everything your character's going to do. And in that way, film can be more beneficial, but also on a TV show, like, you might be working on it for longer, for more time, so it's like kind of, it could be a better job, but it depends. And honestly, I just like acting, so honestly, like, it doesn't really matter where I do it, you know.
I agree with that. So long as somebody wants me to do it, that's all that matters. Do it.
Yeah.
Just know the theater.
You don't won't do theatre.
Refused.
Why are you looking at Chris for that?
I refused.
Yeah, it's much the same. Yeah, like any form of acting I like, as long as you're working with good people, that's kind of all that really matters, and you get to perform. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, all the guys at Conageddon get into a fight. Who's gonna win?
Zach.
Guys, I think the sweater boys are out of the running.
Do I have to fight them all at the same time?
Do you think you can win?
I think I can win.
You're forgetting about my throat punch technique.
Yeah, but your throat, I'm gonna have to keep my...
Richard started doing Pilates though, so he's in with a shot.
I've been doing reformer Pilates on the machine.
Real quick before you continue, we have to wrap it up shortly, but this is the last call for Tasia's photos, and then in a few minutes, if you want to line up for Tasia and Bob's photos, that is happening very, very, very shortly. So.
Nobody's interested.
I'm just doing what I'm told. You're interested, yes. Okay. Go ahead.
I want to ask Thomas if you have any of your artwork with you, and if you do, can I have one?
With me?
I mean, here?
Here?
Somewhere here?
No. Who wants to buy some of your art, bro? No, I don't have anything.
Your art's on the whiteboard. Our art is in your room.
The VIP room, they had some art this morning, some art sessions in his VIP room.
Well, we should talk later. We'll finish that.
Maybe you can commission a piece?
Yes.
Bring him along, too.
All right, thank you. Visit his website. All right, we have 2 minutes till we have to wrap up.
Okay, I'll talk really quickly. I asked the girls this too. So I'm coding a video game, text-based role-player game set in the universe of the 100. All of you will be characters that people can play. Let me record this. I want to know if you have requests for your characters, ideas in general. It could be, yeah, if you need more.
Can Rowan kiss someone?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Sure.
6 feet tall.
Okay.
Yeah. Same, both jacked with Rowan-like features.
matching
For Monty
sweaters?
and Murphy.
Ooh, can we have sweaters in the game?
All right, so it's gonna have to be, ASCII art, like so it's text-based. So it's gonna, if I make the sweaters, it's gotta be. Do you know what ASCII art is? Okay, it's like. What is that? It's like art made out of the characters on your keyboard. Like yeah. Who can explain?
It's like
Right.
Like a Vodafone.
No, it's like ASCII is like the characters, the alphabet, all of the parentheses, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
You can make images with it. Okay, like if you made a mountain, it might be a bunch of lines. So I can try to make your sweaters in ASCII. Sure. It would have to be a lot of lines. I don't know.
How many letters will it take to make a Bellamy? Like, is it 2D or like, is it like?
The U.S. number of characters you can make a Bellamy.
Infinity.
I don't know.
Infinity. Like, you just, yeah, Bellamy can be made out of ones and zeros.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
All right, last few questions.
Did any of you get to keep any souvenirs from the show?
I literally didn't get anything.
I'm sorry.
COVID and everything.
Oh,
They had to wrap and get out.
Eliza stole some stuff. And I might be wearing it tomorrow.
Tasha has that little painting of me when I'm like, when I'm in prime.
Oh, really?
God, and they have that beautiful portrait. She has it up at her Vancouver apartment.
Wow.
And she was like,
Yeah, but she doesn't live there
I
anymore,
took it
right?
so I could give it to you, and I was like, no, leave it up. I like people coming over to your house and being like, is that Richard? Like, yeah. So she has that.
I'm forgetting the name of it now. What's the little thing?
Flame.
The flame. The flame. I have the flame. And right, currently it's in a giant Lego box with a bunch of Legos, and my kids use it when they build Legos. And they call it the 8 because it's got the little. Yeah, it's in there right now. Yeah, it's being played with probably right now. Yeah.
It's in a place of honor.
That's a good place for it.
All right, last few questions. We gotta get going.
Have you ever been scrolling on YouTube or TikTok and found an edit of yourself in any of your characters?
Yes.
Yeah, all the time.
And they're always really cool.
Oh, yeah. You've never searched for yourself online.
Chris, you ever found an edit of yourself on the internet?
No, I don't have to. No.
He has a flip phone, so.
I actually have a cool thing where my daughter's friends are sending her edits of me in things, and then she like sends them to me. And it's pretty awesome. There's some cool stuff out there.
Can I just pick Bob?
Yes.
Go, Bob.
All right.
Sorry. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, guys.
Zach, I hope they're not sending her the reel from the show where you were naked.
No, that's what her friends are doing. It's very disturbing.
Yes.
But you know, you can only block so much in the world. Because like she's not on YouTube, but like she does have some friends she can text with, and like they can have like a video that they can forward in the text, you know. Well,
How old is she?
I have a lot of parental controls going on because the world is wild.
That's fair.
You know, so I just try to. She does not like that. She'd probably like on the live chat being like, no, he doesn't right now. I figured out a way around that day.
All right, last two questions.
Hey guys, and I'm wondering how do you remember the show? Did you watch it like us in the TV, like in the living room, or just for fun in the screen?
I've seen every episode of the show at least once, most of them only once, a couple of them a few times, and I would watch them.
Okay.
Sometimes on the computer just to be like, it's like watching game tape, and you're like, oh, that's how that came off. That was different than what I envisioned it. Yeah, it's like, I remember how I felt, that's not how it looked though, so I should maybe change things.
I remember it from the shooting it mostly. Yeah, the making.
But you've never watched an episode 6?
No, I mean I've seen some, but the way that I remember it is like making it. That's the best.
Yeah, I'm the same way, except during the pandemic, my oldest daughter wanted to watch it all the way through, and we did, and I watched it all the way through with her. And yes,
What was your favorite scene, Zach?
To be honest, I don't know. I mean, I really liked, I was surprised how much I liked stuff towards the end more than because it's weird because I think a lot of the themes on the show, they didn't hit me quite the same way when I was doing the show as then the world that I watched it in during the pandemic. Like the world had changed a lot.
Yeah.
And actually called Jason and was like, dude, you were like ahead of your time, man. And he was like, I know. And I was like, I was like, dude, like it resonates, I think, differently now than it did then. And for whatever reason, just because of the madness of the world AIs and all the things that are now a part of the world that then, when I was in it, was not really as much of a part of the actual world. So, yeah, I mean, favorite scene, I don't know, there's so many great scenes in it. Honestly, like, I watched that, I actually like cried a lot. It was weird. It was, I got like kind of emotional. But, you know, my daughter was like, stop crying.
Thank you. All right, we literally have 30 seconds. Troy, you're on.
So, this isn't a question about your favorite scene. This is a question about, is there a scene that throughout your career that has stuck with you, that you kind of like relive, or you could even say, oh, that was horrible, I wish I could have done it again, but just something that has stuck with you.
Any show, any TV, any film.
Anything.
I mean, I always feel like any scene I shoot, just after I'm done with it, I think of one thing I could have done that was even better than whatever I did in it, and then it just needles me for the rest of my life. And there's like a million of those. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't have any one specifically. There was quite a few on that I was like, I remember really enjoying. When Louisa died, that stuck with me. I don't want people that I care about to die. I know that now.
I think most things that I've done, you're like, oh man, I really wish I did that better, or could have done it again. The nice thing about doing plays, though, is that you never see it. So no matter how the night goes, it'll eventually wash out of your memory. If it was great or terrible, it all kind of fades away, which is nice.
Thank you, everyone, so much. Thanks to the guys at Conageddon. They're off and running, so we'll see you at the next one.